This is a very complicated study in order to conduct. It's much more complicated than if you're doing a simple trial of a medicinal product where you'll give one person a tablet and another person a comparison tablet and can see directly the effect. This is a pathway that's trying to adjust how people are reviewing and responding to potential challenges in medications lists from a huge array of different patients with different medical problems, and again conducting this across several sites in Europe where there's quite a degree of variability in the health practices across those countries. So we had to develop a very elaborate process where the physicians involved in the study filled out an independent evidence form, and they would send that on for independent peer review by a review group that hadn't otherwise been involved in the care of that patient. And so that rigorous degree for the ascertainment and assessment and adjudication of the endpoints is something that Senator has done that has never been done in this level of detail and with this degree of precision in any previous study looking in this area. The huge advantage of this is now we have an extraordinarily high quality data set that is able to both define the number of adverse events and some of the associations of those adverse events, as well as being able to specifically interrogate what was the potential effect of the Senator intervention within this group of patients. By definition, this study is looking at older, multi-morbid patients. So these are patients which, to even be in the study in the first place, you had to be on at least multiple medications for at least 4 different conditions. So the average is many of these patients were on many medications. And so when you try to tease apart using an electronic system like the software to make recommendations, invariably one of the challenges that you generate a large list of potential recommendations. The physicians and clinicians looking after the subjects have to go through this list of recommendations. Some of these recommendations are probably going to be highly relevant for the individual subject, but some of them are going to be there for clinical reasons whereby the subject does benefit from this particular medication, regardless of the fact that there may be some reasons for concern. And so the whole art and skill of medicine is the fact that you've got to take generic rules and apply them to individual patients. But what the software does is remind people and prompt them of the generic rules so that the individual clinician can then go and see whether this is applicable to this particular patient in the circumstances that they are in. So my wish would be very much that this would be interpreted correctly. This is a study that gives a clear answer. That answer gives you a lot of useful information. It points you in a lot of useful directions. And the really important thing is that you accept that answer and you look at the direction that it points in, and that's where it drives future research.